It started small. A spark. A signal. We learned to communicate. To connect. Step by step, evolution carried us forward. We sent messages across wires, then data across oceans. We built highways of light, infrastructure of possibility. But evolution isn't always enough. Today's AI-powered world demands more: speed, scale, real-time intelligence. There's still a missing link. Lumen is that link. Ready to connect the world in a completely new way. And we're not doing it alone. We're rallying the businesses, builders, and bold thinkers who are ready to shape what's next. A network that's cloudifying telecom, transforming static infrastructure into intelligent learning platforms. Driving what's next by connecting what matters most. The evolution is over. The revolution has begun.
Please join me in welcoming to the stage Lumen's CEO, Kate Johnson.
Are you as pumped as I am? I doubt it. I have been looking forward to this moment. It has been a minute. We have a lot to catch up on, so thank you for taking the time. Welcome to the Lumen Analyst Forum. We are going to be sharing so much with you, and I'm going to do you all a favor and give you a little cheat sheet. 3 things to look for in all of the presentations over the course of the next 2 days. Number 1, this company is playing to win, and we're not being subtle about it in any way, shape, or form. It's very different than the old ways of legacy telco, of playing not to lose, protecting the revenue, and it's very focused on leaning in and building a growth company. You'll see it in every presentation. The second thing is this transformation, it's not a program. It's not an initiative. It is a fundamental reboot of a company that's delivering value, that's incredibly disruptive to an industry that's needed innovation for a long, long time. And our transformation is rooted in innovation. And that's very special because what it's doing is it's bringing more value to customers and it's restoring our ability to have pricing power in a market that's been commoditized, and it's giving Lumen the control point at the most important time in networking during the greatest shift of technology in our lives. Thirdly, and finally, and this is really, really important, we can talk all day long about transformation. We can use fancy words. We can do all the marketing spiel. But if it's not showing up in the financial results, then it just doesn't matter. And what I need to make sure we all are rooted in is this notion of, we've been very clear, restore free cash flow health, restore growth to EBITDA, and then pivot to revenue growth has always been the journey. We have done the restoration on the free cash flow side. We have guided EBITDA growth in 26 thanks to 2 things: modernization, simplification, taking cost out, and an organic growth engine that we've been building that's adding to that shift. And today, we're going to give more clarity, as we've been talking about over the course of the past month, about restoring business segment revenue growth by 2028. It's a company that's been in decline for a long time, more than a decade, and here we are three years in, and we're calling the ball. So it's a super exciting moment. Thank you so much for sharing it with us. Thanks. Yeah. Thank you for that. I'm pretty sure our team started that one, but I'm okay with it. So All right, so let's talk about transformation, the elephant in the room. I'm sitting here in front of many industry analysts whose job it is to write about and research transformations of all kinds. And what you have told us and taught us is that 80% of them fail, right? They're complicated, they fail for all of these reasons. Wrong leadership, wrong mission, bad funding, bad change management, bad program management, too much risk, too little risk. The list is really, really long. So what gives us the confidence to say, we're gonna transform this company from a legacy telco to a modern technology infrastructure company and reposition ourselves as a trusted network for AI? What gives us that bold aspiration and the confidence that we can do that? It's a couple of things. Number one, the common denominator of all successful transformations is the right assets at the right time. We've got the best fiber network. I'm a little biased, but I think we can actually prove that out. At precisely the right time. Multi-cloud and AI, the biggest technology boom in the history of mankind, can't operate without fiber. And that's a really important point for us and something that we're leaning into. The second thing, and I think this is really important, by definition, any company going through a transformation is an underdog. If 80% of them fail, that means only 20% win. And when the odds are stacked against you that high, you're by definition an underdog, right? Well, guess what? Underdogs are special. They have a certain mindset. They're driven by passion, not glory. And we have built a team of the most amazing leaders that have that underdog mindset. They're driven by the passion to transform an industry, not the glory of sitting someplace where it's easy to grow. And our dream to disrupt the industry and deliver new value and to power the AI economy, it's conceived really by Dave Ward, our CTO and Chief Product Officer. He designs the dream. We got Ryan Asdorian, our Chief Marketing Officer. He storytells and amplifies the dream and breaks it down so that all of us can really understand it. Chris Stansberry, this guy has transformed the financial position of Lumen, an incredible executor, and he's funding the dream for us. Anna White, our Chief People Officer, I've never seen anything like this. We are very, very passionate about our culture. It's rooted in playing to win. We focus on team trust, transparency, and a few other behaviors that are critical for driving transformation success. And somehow, she has made all of that tangible throughout our company. All of our processes, all of our moments are rooted in transparency around that culture. And Mark Hacker, the newest kid to this team, General Counsel, I don't know how he did it, but he's showing the company that legal and compliance can help you go faster. It can help you show up in just the right way for customers. Ashley, our CRO, she's selling the dream. And she knows how to build scaled engines to drive revenue growth, machine-like. That's how we're winning in NAS, by the way. And Kai's got the awesome responsibility of actually making it physically true. Every day out in the field, making sure our physical and digital dreams are coming true for customers and providing the value that we think they are. Wes, he's not going to be here today because he's one of the masterminds of the mass markets transaction, selling fiber to the home to AT&T, and he's focused on making sure that transaction goes through flawlessly, and we're super grateful for his leadership, by the way. This team is different. Underdog mindset, passion for transformation, and together we see a deep need, and that's probably the third really important common denominator. Is there a problem that you can solve? I talked about assets at the right time. What is the problem that we're trying to solve? CIOs are on the hook to deliver insight at the speed of thought in a sea of complexity. That's a huge problem. AI is driving data proliferation, Users, apps, and data are everywhere. Great news is there's choice for customers. 1 cloud, 3 clouds, 5 clouds, a bunch of data centers at the edge on-prem. You can put your data and your apps anywhere, and your people are geographically dispersed. But if you have to deliver insight wherever they are in the most cost-efficient way, that choice becomes a huge amount of complexity. And you need partnerships, companies to actually deliver the goods, to make it easy. By the way, the ecosystems in networking for decades have been taking advantage of that emerging complexity and just taxing the system with no value. And Lumen's changing all of that. Our vision is to remove the friction, collapse the layers, unlock the speed, deliver secure and cost-efficient solutions. Because there's money there. We can actually grow this company by focusing on solving that problem. And that's exactly what we're doing. Just look at the cloud spend. It's going through the roof. More data in the clouds. And by the way, if it goes in that cloud, it's got to come out of that cloud. Data centers proliferating everywhere because there's a race for GPUs. By the way, all those data centers need to be connected, just like all those clouds. And then you've got customers saying, oh my gosh, this data is going through the roof. What do I do? And there's an emerging part of the overall total available market for connectivity, around $15 billion, that's growing very rapidly, that says, how can we quickly move data in any one of those combinations, cloud to cloud, data center to cloud, prem to cloud, et cetera? I'll spend money to do that. And that's the available market we're going after. We're already making progress in it, as we're going to share with you today. Before I go and start talking about our mission, vision, and strategy, I need to set the context for what we've done. We've done an incredible amount of work in the 3 years that we started this journey, nearly 3 years. And this slide depicts the big moments in the first 18 months of that journey. You know, we started building a team. We had to cut the dividend. That was an incredibly tough choice. We restructured the balance sheet. That was unbelievably difficult and complicated. We divested from Europe to focus on getting healthy in the United States. We established a clear North Star for the company, which was important for us all to rally behind where we were trying to go. We launched a cultural reboot with Dare to Lead. And then we did this little science project. And we said, while we're doing all of these really hard things, let's go see if customers value really quick, secure, and effortless experiences in networking. It was a science project, a bit of a hobby, a toe dip in the water, if you will. And when I look at this slide, the team presented it to me and said, we think you should, start here. I was like, it doesn't tell the whole story. There was so much going on underneath. We were simplifying the ecosystems. We were building the scaffolding for program management. We were setting things in motion to build an organic growth engine. None of that's on that page. None of it. What you see on that page are the moments that the world saw. And if you recall, all of those headlines during that time, they were pretty rough. This is a very dark time for this company. But we're underdogs. We got this. And we use the underdog mantra. Actually, Geno Smith, former quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks, in his upset victory against Russell Wilson, was in a post-game interview, and he said something really important. And those who are giggling, maybe you know what I'm going to say, because I say it all the time to myself. When the world writes you off, don't write back. Ignore the haters, dig into the work, play to win, and focus on executing. And that's what we did. And guess what happened? Boom. We shot out of a cannon. Right after that restructuring, we knew what was going on underneath the hood. We struck a deal with Corning, made a very lengthy commitment on a significant portion of their production because we knew it was going to be required to deliver on about $8.5 billion worth of contracts, which we signed in 4 months. We started breaking records on that new infrastructure, which was fun because we got noticed. So this legacy telco, sleepy little thing, all of a sudden was named one of America's most innovative companies by Fortune. We then struck a deal with Google to re-architect and provide value with direct fiber access, on-ramps into the cloud, an industry first. And then 2 more moments during this time, which were really defining for us. Number 1, we sold our fiber to the home assets to AT&T, a massive delevering moment for this company after we execute it. And we surpassed 1,000 enterprise customers on that little science project that we started, validating that, in fact, our declaration that we are an enterprise company was exactly the right thing. That's where we need to put our focus and our money. We're chasing that $15 billion, and we've got a hell of a head start. All of this together, this is our momentum. And momentum is special because it's another common denominator of successful transformations. You get that ball rolling. Objects in motion stay in motion. Losing companies keep losing. Winning companies keep winning. We were losing. The intervention, the exogenous impact to stop that is our play to win strategy and our transformation, our science projects, our deals. And here we are. We have strategic clarity. Everybody knows this is our focus on the enterprise. We have financial freedom, which is pretty remarkable given where we came from. We have a very healthy balance sheet. Chris is going to talk about that. Some of the graphics in there really give you an idea of where we were versus where we are today and where we're going to be after the close of the transaction. And then finally, we have an innovation engine. And it's pretty remarkable because it's pumping out intellectual property. That's pretty exciting. We're going to talk about that and actually make an announcement on that today. And it all started with a North Star. I was with the company for a week, and I said, what's our strategy? And they said, we need a new one. We're just going to jump right to it. And I said, great, get the top 10 performing VPs and SVPs, put them in a room for a couple of weeks. I sat with them and I said, you have a clean slate. Let's pretend you've got nothing to worry about. What's the company that you'd build based on the assets that we own? And our North Star was born. And the remarkable part of this story is that this North Star hasn't changed since they set that ball in motion in December of 22. They said, look, we can unleash the world's digital power by focusing on what we do best, which is connecting people, data, and applications quickly, securely, effortlessly. Obviously, the quick, secure, and effortless is something we really need to work on in telco all up, but particularly at Lumen. And that became our mission statement. That's what we're here to do every single day. We established 5 core customer solution areas. We cleaned out a lot of the portfolio, got rid of a lot of the stuff that didn't make any sense. We were kind of spreading our bets across everything instead of declaring majors and focusing where we know we can win. We still have more work to do on that, but it's a remarkable amount of progress. And we conceived of a digital platform providing connectivity fabric, the ability to kind of permeate and show up everywhere and interconnect the world in an elegant way. We're very focused on delivering value for our customers, delightful experiences for employees. Happy employees drive happiness with customers. We know that for sure. And we're going to restore revenue growth, profitable revenue growth to our shareholders who deserve it. The whole thing is culture driven. My first day, I told the company, we're going to rebuild this company from the people up. And we have every single day, very focused, team trust, transparency, and then all of the behaviors that are common denominators of successful transformations. Clarity of our communication, a growth mindset. I need everybody to be able to make a mistake and know that they can come in the office the very next day with their head held high because they're learning from it. They're not ashamed of it. And of course, customer obsession, something that's important, and it's driving all the innovation that Dave's going to talk about in just a little bit. And this is our long-term vision. We have work to do to construct this company, but this is who we want to be. a digital network services company that delivers ubiquitous, universal connectivity to enterprises. Obviously, high bandwidth, low latency, secure, resilient, and intelligent fiber solutions are what we do, and we want to deliver it digitally and on demand. There are a couple of words that really, they deserve our attention. Ubiquity is key. That's being everywhere. We've been focused on net. We need to be available everywhere, and we have a plan to do exactly that. Universal, what the heck does that mean? Remember that choice I talked about? Data centers, clouds, on-prem, at the edge. We cover all of the combinations of connectivity. We're the only company that does. Data center to data center, data center to prem, data center to cloud. We got it all covered. Not only that, we're innovating and driving new architectures to make that connectivity higher performing, more secure than anybody else in the world. This is the company that we're building. It's our vision, and we've got a really, really tight strategy to deliver on that vision. 3 parts, you're going to hear about them all day today. The physical, which is continuing to build out the backbone for the AI economy. On the digital side, we're building a digital platform to cloudify and agentify the entire experience with our fabric. And the third piece, which is relatively new, we've conceived of and started delivering against a connected ecosystem that drives even more value for customers and technology partners and Lumen shareholders, which we're excited about. We're going to keep on modernizing and simplifying the company. It's just what we do every single day. And we're ahead of our cost takeout plan as a result of it. And again, we're going to continue to nurture the way that we come together, the culture of the company. Brené Brown wrote a new book called Strong Ground. And in the very first chapter, if you only read 23 pages of it, she likens the culture of a company to the core strength of an organization. Okay, so if your core is not strong, you're just going to have injury after injury. And we have been developing our core strength for 3 years, and I'm really proud of that work in case you can't tell. Let me dig in just really quickly to a couple of these things. The physical network, this is our booyah moment, okay? We've got something that nobody else can replicate. Great coverage, unique routes, state-of-the-art technology, equipment, and fiber. We've got a long lead. And what's most exciting is we're dramatically expanding the physical network, all powered by these partnerships with the hyperscalers. No more field of dreams building. We're building what everybody needs, which is super exciting. Kai's going to take us through exactly where we are on this. We're ahead of plan, which is super exciting, and he'll talk more about exactly what that means. Digital. When I first started talking about cloudifying telecom, I got a lot of tilted heads like, what are you talking about? I come from a world of tech, and in tech, we cloudified the world, more than a decade ago. It was hard. There was a lot of structural change in the industry that we had to drive as a result of it. But basically, we said, okay, let's have density of innovation around infrastructure, and let's let companies do what they do and kind of let the technology companies deliver the technology, innovation, and security for them. But network got left behind, right? Network is the same as it was in 1990. Okay, maybe not, Dave, don't get mad at me. But basically, there hasn't been a lot of evolution around the core pieces of networking to keep up with cloud. There's an asymmetry there. And we're basically promoting networking to the world of cloud. Dave's going to talk a lot about the second generation, Cloud 2.0, and how we're skating to that puck, where it's going, right? We're going where the future is. We're not waiting for it to happen around us. And in legacy telecom, there are a couple of things that really, really matter. There's like this point-to-point analog static mindset where you have linear cost pinned to revenue. You can't get cloud economics because one port carries one service and it sits on one infrastructure. And we're changing all of that with our digital platform. Our NAS capabilities provide cloud economics. So a fabric port can carry thousands of services. Not only first-party services from Lumen, but third-party services from our partner ecosystem, which is incredibly important because now we can drive scaled revenue growth with declining marginal cost. Cloud economics. What's more is we've been selling IOD, Internet on Demand, into our on-net buildings, maybe 100,000, 110,000 buildings around the country where NAS is enabled. Soon, we will be releasing Internet on Demand off-net. Why is that relevant? It's relevant because instead of having a total available market of 100,000 on-net buildings for NAS, we will have more than 11 million buildings available for this service. What's the magic that makes that happen? It's a couple of things. Lumen Connect is the management console for total lifecycle management. Remember, a lot of that's available today, and we still have a lot of work to do to integrate to have one common experience, but the view is a single pane of glass to manage your networking needs. Fire up any port with any service, anytime, anywhere, on-net or off-net. And a big piece of the enablement of that, we're going to announce today. It's called Project Berkeley. I'm not allowed to say any more than that because Dave Ward will get super pissed if I do. But I will tell you that it's game-changing. There's a ton of intellectual property. It provides the control point for Lumen. And we're very, very excited about what it means to our disruption path. When you get more than 1,000 enterprise customers on a digital platform, you now have an innovation engine that you can model and scale for growth. And that's what we have. And a good indication that this is real is these are the logos of the companies, big brand names, that are willing to stand side by side. By the way, this is just a portion of them. We couldn't fit too many more on the slide or you wouldn't be able to tell who they are. But when companies stand side by side with you, say you can use my logo and I'll tell the story of the great experience that I'm having with your capabilities, you know you're onto something great. So we're excited about that. And I think I was reviewing over the weekend with the team, hey, give me some of the feedback that we're getting from customers. And they use words like, it's simple, it's instant, it's elegant, it's innovative. And that's one of the major signals that tells us we're on the right path. That's what gives us confidence that we're going to deliver this transformation and return the company to growth. The final piece, the ecosystem. What the heck does all this mean? Okay, we've got customers connected through NAS platform. We've got all the data centers around the country connected, right? And we've got the hyperscalers connected. We have a rich connected ecosystem, so where's the value? Very simply put, we are giving technology partners value by taking the long pole of design and delivery and provisioning of networking out. And our vision is to make it instantaneous. So what is that value to a technology partner? We say, hey, we can actually accelerate your time to consumption, because that's the metric that everybody cares about. Microsoft wants the fastest path to consumption of their cloud. Commvault, fastest consumption of their cloud solutions. And traditionally, the buying is done totally separate, the architecture totally separate, and you get your cloud solution selected and you decide you want to deploy it, and then you start working on that networking piece of it. And you figure out how much bandwidth, what's the performance and speed, where's my redundancy, and then they say, oh, that's going to be 6 months. In this vision, what we're doing with customers, we're making a huge amount of progress. Ashley's going to talk about some of these partnerships that we've already formed. We're saying we're going to bundle a Lumen-validated design for this cloud solution and make it available in digital marketplaces, so when you're ready to buy it, you're ready to deploy it from a networking perspective. We are no longer the long pole in the tent. And that's defining because it accelerates time to value for everybody, for the customer, for the technology partner, and for Lumen. Because we've got what nobody else has got, a quick, secure, and effortless digital experience integrated with those partnerships. Super exciting. It extends our reach because we have technology companies selling this on our behalf, and it bolsters our conviction that we are the right company with the right assets at the right time. Let me wrap it up. I told you 3 things. Number 1, we are playing to win, and we're not being subtle about it. We're leaned in, we're focused, we're making bets, we're learning, we're pivoting as we need to, and we've got momentum. Number 2, we're innovating to disrupt, and that's what's driving the transformation. It's not a program or an initiative or a fly-by-night thing. It's very real. And you're going to hear all day long about the innovation that we're bringing to market already. The intellectual property that this company is delivering is super exciting. And finally, financially, we are restoring growth to the business segment of this company by 2028 with margin expansion. And that's our story. I hope you engage with us. Ask tons of questions, please. We're here over the next couple of days to make sure you get your answers and dig in with us. So let's get to it, and thanks for the time.